Good morning, everyone. It's Nicola Radde from Travel Only, and I'm here with the lovely Cindy Girard from Norwegian Cruise Lines. Cindy, it's so great to have you here and welcome. Bonjour. And we are both from Europe, and you are from France, from Normandy, I believe. And
Yes.
how, like, I came to Canada because my husband was transferred with work. So was that something similar for you, or how did you end up in Canada?
Well, I came in Canada for love, but not the love of a man, I have to say. And yes, bonjour, and thank you for inviting me. I've been living in Canada for 5 years. Time flies so fast. It's incredible. But my journey started in France, indeed. So I was born in Normandy. I did my studies in travel, up to Paris at the time, and then I moved to London in United Kingdom in 2012. And I stayed there for 4 years and a half before I decided that I wanted to have a bigger challenge in my life. So that's why actually I then asked to be transferred within my company because they had actually a branch in North America, and that's how I ended up in Canada.
Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah. So I think you are with Norwegian Cruise Line for about 5 years or 4 years now.
Less than that, 2 years and a half,
Oh,
but
two
yeah,
and
time flies as well. So 2 years and a half indeed. So which is the funny story, and I kid you not. So my previous company, I was attending a conference every year for a very same client, and this client, like 2 years and a half ago, decided to have their conference on the Norwegian Bliss. So I attended. I was the best guest experience ever of this company because that happened in October. And by November, I applied actually to be part of Norwegian's team because I absolutely adored my cruise with Norwegian. I had some cruises before, but I really love the concept of Norwegian, the freestyle that maybe you want to ask me a little bit later. But I love the ships, I love the crew, I love the philosophy of the company. So, yes, best guest experience ever.
okay, that sounds good. So, in your like, what was one of your favorite travel experiences?
Wow, I have quite a few because I really came into travel industry by passion. So which means I've been lucky enough to travel a lot. And when I was in Europe, you know that probably Nicola and you, ladies and gentlemen, if by any chance you've been to Europe, you know we have a magic thing called low cost airlines. So you can literally go from Paris to anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
Sometimes for what, 50 euros, $50. It's just very cheap. So I've been to many places. I think my favorite destination ever, I've been there a few times, is definitely Italy and Rome. Rome is a city that
Right.
I love to go back over and over for
Mm,
so many things. It's like for culture. First is definitely the culture. There's this kind of city, you have a good weather all year long. You can have a lovely gelato, you know, this ice cream in November, for
yeah.
example. I cannot do that in Toronto usually. Uh, and you have like cultures, you have monuments, museum, you have architecture all over the place. Should I even start on food? Yes,
Mm,
we know. So I think actually Italian food is better than French food. Not
yeah.
my mom's food, not my mom's food, but still, I think Italy is my favorite destination
Yeah.
of all time.
It's what you said, it's so cheap and you are so quick anywhere. Like my husband and I, we weren't married at that time, but we would hop on a bus on Friday evening, get to Paris like Saturday morning, spend all day there, and then at midnight we had to be back at the bus on Saturday, and then we were back on Sunday. Just like
Exactly.
crazy, you know. But it's fun, you know. It was when we were younger. I don't know if I want to do it right now, but
But you
yeah.
know, even I think sometimes the best wonders are in your country. When I was living in United Kingdom, what I love with UK is that you can go everywhere by train, absolutely everywhere for good prices. And I have to say that I used to have a tradition when I was in UK. I would spend my birthday in Scotland, in the Highlands in particular,
Oh, okay.
and I miss dearly this area because it's beautiful. There's not so many monuments. There's not so
Mhm.
many so many museums, but the wonders of the nature over there. They had this thing on me, the castles, you know, you see on the pictures, and that's something I miss a lot. So it
Mhm.
maybe was not the wow effect as you can think of, but the pleasure to go back there was the lake and the mountains, the locks, the famous locks.
Yeah.
That used to be part of my routine, and that was
Yeah.
domestic travel. So sometimes the wow is just in your country.
Yeah, that's right. So back to Norwegian Cruise Line, like, how do you foresee travel rebounding as the world is opening up?
So that's a great question. And actually, you know what? It's not so much I foresee it because it is happening now. It is rebounding
It
now.
is, yes.
It is. We had a lots of great news. Still, we are not yet out of the woods, and we totally understand. We are still some. We still have some restrictions imposed by the government. We know it, right? Travel restrictions, but things are getting better. The vaccine is rolling out fairly fast, and now I heard about yesterday, a couple of days ago, there's additional supply that is coming into Canada, so everyone can get the second shot faster. So that enables us actually to foresee that the rebounds will really be completed faster than anticipated. And we talked to something that is talked about on the market, which is like travel revenge. And
Yeah, I heard that too.
I so believe in it. I am the one ready to get my revenge. Fierce French talking here. Where yes, we all of us, travel professionals and new clients, we've all been working very hard, I guess, in the last 18 months, but we could not go. And ask any travel advisor, any travel professional, is there anything worse than not be able to
To
travel
travel,
when this
yes.
is your passion? There's not. And so lots and lots of our guests and us, we are just waiting to be able to go. If there was no travel restrictions tomorrow, I think lots of us would be in the plane tomorrow. Lots of travelers, in particular from the United States, when the travel restrictions are a little bit smaller, they are traveling already, mostly to Caribbean, to Mexico, even Europe. Like, for example, talking about France released today actually a list of countries where you can travel, provided you are vaccinated, where you can travel from and to. So,
Yeah.
you have something you can expect is to have, this kind of vaccination passport or whatever, how they're going to call
Yeah, I
it. But
think it's digital, no? Like in Europe, they're just starting
they
it.
talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, they talk
Yeah.
about it. Whether it be paper, digital, we're not sure yet. But
Mhm.
like the reality is that getting vaccinated is going to be a huge key for everyone if you want to travel in the next
Definitely.
month or even couple of years.
Yeah.
Um, it's a decision to make. We understand and we respect everyone's decision. But for those who actually make the choice to be vaccinated, I mean, it will open the door to travel, and there's going to be a lot of us
Yes.
traveling.
Yes. And Cindy, what changes has Norwegian Cruise Line made due to COVID? Like any changes that are happening?
So that's a great question, and I have to say, change, yes and no. That's a very Normandy response. Yes, because we need to adapt. Of course, we live in a world where nowadays we need to adapt to what COVID has done to our day-to-day life, right? So, but what's important to understand is that this is a very step-by-step change. Some change will happen and some change will remain. Some changes will not remain in long term. So that's why it's important to understand. Something we've done indeed. So as you know, we are very, very happy to be able to come back as soon as this summer. So we will sail in Europe, we will sail in
Nice.
Alaska in particular. We're very happy about it. So until the end of October, as per today, we will indeed have new health and safety protocols. One of the key ones are that 100% of crews and guests will be required to be vaccinated, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Why? It's because two reasons. First, it's about the CDC, so the Center for Disease Control, which is US, which is basically the key agency giving us the approval so we can go and sell. This is important. We are under their authority. We are an American-based company. Most of our cruises are departing from US. So
Mm-hmm.
this is why we need to comply as much as we can with them. So that's why we made this choice. And to be honest, we thought as well that what's the best way for our guests to truly enjoy their vacation experience without worrying, right? It's like, we understand, once again, it's a choice to be made, but that's only until October. Until now, between now and until October, a lot of things can happen and improve. We hope
Yes.
for approval as well. If the things are improving on the international scene with the CDC, and we see the cases dropping, and we feel that we don't need anymore to require the vaccinations for everybody to feel safe on board, we will no longer ask for it. But
Yeah.
right now, it's a choice.
Yeah, yeah. If I think of Norwegian Cruise Line, I think like freestyle, and of course I think about Hawaii. And for me, for example, like the breakaway class, like as you see in my photo, like the outside, like the boardwalk, the outside restaurants, I just love them. What else is Norwegian Cruise Line known for?
So indeed, freestyle. Thank you, Nicola. I'm glad you talk about it. This is our key difference. You know, when maybe if you're not used to going on cruises, right? Maybe you've never been on a cruise
Mhm.
before. When I never been on a cruise before, which was only like 4 years ago, to be honest, I always thought about cruise lines a little bit all the same, big white or blue cruise ships, but I didn't know actually what was the life on board. Maybe I was even thinking about Love Boat, for example. But things
Mhm.
have changed, and we are very famous for our activities on board, which are really out of beaten track. We have, for example, a racetrack. We have actual race tracks on
Wow.
board, which is awesome. We have aqua parks, we have casinos, we have spas, we have a lot of different options. But freestyle goes with one key thing, one key difference with the other cruise lines is the fixed assigned dining time. It's just true that even nowadays on some other cruise line, they would assign you a dining time at night. It means that you go onto the onto the cruise ship, and they tell you every single night you need to be at that time, that table to have your dinner.
Mhm.
Sometimes you even share that table with people you don't know. Maybe they don't speak the same language. You're not always comfortable. And basically, we thought at some point, you know what? Vacation is to relax. Vacation is
Yeah.
not to be on the schedule if it's how you don't like it. So if you want to choose to be at 7 p.m. every night on the same restaurant, fine, you absolutely
Mhm.
can do that. But we wanted to leave the freedom to the client, to let the freedom to the clients to decide. Are you hungry at 5 or are you hungry at 9 p.m.? It's not the same. You can go, and you don't need to book, you don't need to do that. You just go to our restaurants. We
Mhm.
can do that because we have enough dining venues on board, so our guests are going to spread naturally all over. So
Yeah.
there would be no waiting time or pretty much none. And we have up to 26 dining options, which is way much more than the average all-inclusive
Mhm.
resorts you could find, actually, for example, in Caribbean.
And also I have to say, like, we never had to wait anywhere in line. Like, it was always good, yes. And yeah, I just love the different venues, and you don't need to dress up if you don't want to. And if I'm hungry
Correct.
today at 7 and tomorrow I'm hungry at 5, then I
Or
just
even,
go.
it just goes with not only about the fact you can be hungry, it's just
Mm,
like sometimes you want to actually plan a little bit around what your theater, because we are very known for our entertainment. We have
yeah,
Broadway shows, for example. If this show starts at 7, but you were assigned your dining time at
at 7.
7:30, does it mean you cannot see your show? It's not really fair. So
No.
that's why, if you want to work around a program on board, just come back from a very big day. You are in Rome, for example, you had a big day of excursion. You're coming back, you just want to have a shower, a little nap. Fair enough, you're
Mm,
on vacation. So we don't want you to have to wake up or hurry basically in the shower because you need to be on time for dinner. No.
yeah.
And as you said, it goes as well with the dress code. Some of the cruise lines, even nowadays, ask for guests, for example, gentlemen, to wear a tie or a jacket. We don't do that either. Of course,
Mhm.
we limit a little bit, right? It's like swimsuit in the dining room. No,
No,
that's
okay,
right. But at least you can go casual. You can dress up as well. That's what I really love, and that's why our clients are coming back over and over to us because they
okay.
know they have the freedom they want in vacation.
Yeah. And your back screen there is really nice about the new Prima. Is there anything you like to tell us about your new ship?
Oh yes, I'm
Oh
so
yes.
excited about it. It's so indeed we are very excited. You mentioned a little bit earlier, the breakaway plus class. So this class of ship is almost like 9 years old. So it means that altogether, those ships are incredible, right? Don't get me wrong. Like if you heard about Norwegian Bliss, Norwegian Encore, which was the newest launch in 2019, those are incredible. That's those where you find the racetrack, for example. And we love those. So those welcome approximately 4,000 passengers. So we love them. And some of the cruise lines, took the bet with the bigger, the better, right? We know it, but that's not what we wanted to do because on
Oh,
those ships, yes, they are bigger, but there's more passengers as well. So do you really win in the end of the day? We don't think so. Us, we decided to take another bet, another route, and I'm so happy about it. We decided to keep the same size than a 4,000 passenger ship, except that on this one, Norwegian Prima, which is on that side, you will have only 3,215
oh wow.
passengers. So it means way much more space. And that's actually what our client wants at
Mm-hmm.
sea. They don't want to feel canned. They want to feel like they can breathe, right? They don't want to feel anything between themselves and the ocean. So that's why we have opened so many space. For if you ever experience, for example, Norwegian Bliss and called the Breakaway Plus class, when you have something called the waterfront, and that's what's behind you, I believe now on your picture, Nicola.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
a
where
yeah, La Cucina, yeah.
exactly. So that's where actually all restaurants and bars are located on the same deck. And we have open actually part of the deck outside, outdoor. So you can have outdoor dinner
Oh
as well
yeah,
as
it's
race,
nice.
which is fantastic. So when you can have on the sunset with the waves and you may see dolphins when you're eating actually your
Yeah.
main course, that's just amazing. So we've done that, but we had still some sort of limitation. With the new Norwegian Prima and the new class of ship called Prima, we have double, basically more than double, this outdoor space
Oh,
for
super.
restaurants, bars, and instead we have created like actually like sort of beach vibes. So now we are going to have like infinity pools on both sides of the ship. For example, we're going to have, of course, more space for the restaurants. We're going to have sunbeds all over the ships, not only on the top
Nice.
decks, as you can see usually on the cruise ships. It's going to be really all across the ship. It's going to be a brand new experience. Bigger rooms as well,
Mm-hmm.
better, with a better lining. It's going to be incredible. Prima is going to be incredible. You want to be on that ship.
Yeah. I I want to be on that ship, yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
So she's coming summer next year, but she's already available on sale, of course. We opened the sales on May 12th,
Yeah.
and it goes very, very fast. Very,
Okay.
very fast. We
Yes,
have
yes,
incredible itineraries.
I believe that. So what kind of market do you see fitting well with Norwegian Cruise Lines? Like, I guess, like families, multi-generational.
That's correct. Actually, it's over, the time where cruising was only basically for, I would say like only retired. That was a cliche actually of the cruise line when there was
Yeah.
like we say like if you go on a cruise, you may see a very high average age on board. It used to be true. It's no longer the case.
Yeah.
For us, the average age is between 45 to 47 years old, which is extremely young.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because yes, we welcome everyone. To be honest, it's like it's no longer it's for kids, it's for parents, grandparents, it's for absolutely everyone because we do have activities on board that is for everybody. We have for relaxed vacation, or we have for active vacationers. Parents can, we have programs for kids as well. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody can have the sort of me time during the day and
Yeah.
gather up together at night for dinner, for example. When
Mm-hmm.
you go actually on the shore side at port, everyone can take a different excursion depending of who you are.
Yeah.
Are you a museum person? Fine. The grandparents can go and visit the museum. Are you a trek person? You want to go on the top of a volcano? The parents can go on the top of the volcano with the kids. If you want, you can go just on, I don't know, a cooking class, for example, if it's available. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
all guests comes back. They come back as well. It's because you can be and together and by yourself at the same time, and they
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, exactly. That's also good for groups. Like everybody can do their own thing, and then at dinner, you can all get together and have dinner together. So Yeah. And then the top three destinations. So as I said already, like if I think Norwegian Cruise Line, I definitely think Hawaii. And because that's one destination, the only cruise line that goes year round, all
Correct.
around. And what else, like Europe, or what do you think? Like,
Basically, for Hawaii is definitely the top one. We've been actually voted the best Hawaii itinerary for 14 years
oh
in a
wow,
row. There's a reason.
14.
So basically, the reason is, yes, as you mentioned, we are the only one to do actually a couple of things in Hawaii. It's basically we are the only one to do a 7-day round trip from and to Honolulu, which enables you to really have easy travel from and back
Mhm.
home. As well, we have 2 overnights in 2 different islands during the itinerary, which makes it really cool. You really optimize your time. And as well, Hawaii is this kind of destination, like, for example, Alaska, which would be one of our other key destinations, where some part of the country is not accessible by road. So if you
Okay.
want to go, you need to be on a cruise ship. Or it's the kind of destination where you want to have the full picture. You need to step back a little bit from the coastline if you want to see the beauty of it, like a volcano in Hawaii, or if you want to see a glacier in Alaska, for example, you need to step back a little bit from those places. And
Mhm.
the ideal place to do that is on a cruise ship. And what I love with cruises, remember, your hotel is traveling for you at night. So you could visit like 4, 5, 6 destinations different in 1 week, which is amazing. So pack and pack only once. So Hawaii, Alaska, definitely key destination for those reasons. But as well, we have some more. We have, for example, Europe as well. We've been for years.
Mhm.
We've been elected the leading cruise line in Mediterranean. For example, we have fantastic itineraries in Western, Eastern Mediterranean. We are very strong on everything that is like Spain, France, for example, Italy, of course, and Greek island. Greek island is extremely trendy, but we are everywhere. We are in Northern Europe as well. Norwegian Prima, for example, she's going to debut actually in Europe. She's going to go to
Okay.
Northern Europe, Iceland in particular, Baltics, before coming back for the winter to Caribbean and Bermuda from New York. So
All
a
right.
little break in Bermuda is really really good to get.
Yeah, yeah. And that's great. And like, yeah, so she is having her first season in Europe and then coming over to the Caribbean, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great news, and I can wait. And so if you could travel right now, and I think it's not too far off, where would you go?
I think I would go to France desperately. I need a little baguette in my life, that's for sure. And
But
Normandy
you
is
bake your own.
so for now, that is scheduled actually for Christmas. But you know something I've been saying for months and months that I apply to myself is that it's not because you're not able to go that it means you're not able to plan. We have so many guests who booked for 2022 and 23 actually
Mhm.
because they need to plan. And so what I have planned for myself, and I started months ago. So yeah, definitely France. I was due to go to Italy. That was one of my tradition, and UK. That was one of my traditions. So
Yeah.
I postponed, but that's fine. I live in the same world that everybody else, so I'm gonna go there. But something I really wanted to do, something I've done because of the COVID. So I had to cancel my vacation plan for a year and a half. Oh. So I noticed something. I noticed that in the end of the day, I saved a little bit more money than usual that I would spend on my vacation. So
Mhm.
talking about travel revenge, I was like, I want to do something good. Like if I have to come back for one travel, I want to do something really out of the ordinary
Yeah.
to celebrate the comeback. So what I've done, I have booked myself and my family on one of our cruise, actually, which is a combo French Polynesia and Hawaii, which
Oh,
was bucket
nice.
list. So that's going to
Oh,
happen next year. We have a fantastic 12-day itinerary. And I was like, you know what? Hawaii and French Polynesia has always been on my bucket list. So that's definitely the next two to come. That tick is going to be done. I
yeah.
hope if I can, so that I'm going to wait until the last minute,
Mhm.
since the travel restrictions. But as soon as the travel restrictions are lifted in Canada, if I can go, it's going to be Alaska this
Oh
summer.
yeah. Oh, Alaska is so beautiful. Like I go back in a heartbeat. Like yeah, I've been a few times and yeah.
I'm just waiting for the border to reopen, and I can
Yes.
tell you this summer if that happens, and if my boss says yes for my vacation day, ah, if you watch
He
me,
will.
yeah, I'm definitely going to Alaska this summer. I don't want
Yeah.
to wait any further.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you so much, Cindy, for being here with us today. And merci beaucoup. And
Okay.
I hope to talk to you soon. And good luck with everything. And yeah, thank you so much once again.
Thank you for
Bye.
inviting me, Nicola. Bye.
Bye.